starting to join in, so we're gonna get started because I know it's Thanksgiving Eve and people probably cooking, trying to get their lives together.
Apple pie.
And we in here talking about we going live on the podcast, but you know, I gotta be consistent. It is my Wednesday, and Monday's episode was a bonus episode, so here we go. So welcome back to the podcast, and you're listening to the Traveling Pants of a Single Mom, and today I have Talene. Say hey girl, hey.
Hey girl, hey.
So today we're just gonna talk about some life stuff and teenage stuff, life experiences. But before we go on to do that, it's like I said, it's Thanksgiving Eve, so we're just gonna talk about what we're thankful for. So what are some of the things? No. What are some of the things you're thankful for?
I'm thankful for my family and my mom and my sister and the roof over our head, and you know, I have a good education and good people in my life that care about me, and yeah.
Nice. So what I'm thankful for, my two beautiful daughters, even though they get on my last nerves sometimes. Even though I complain about it, I'm thankful for my job because it is the reason why these bills get paid. I'm thankful for my friends, for everybody that supports me. I'm thankful for life. You know,
yes.
We gotta be thankful for life, health, and strength. You know, some people can't, you know, is incapable of doing certain things. So, you know, especially working at a pharmacy, people call in all the time. They're frustrated. They're going through these health issues, and we can't relate or understand no matter how much we try. But, you know, I'm thankful for my health and my strength. So we are going to go ahead and get started on our episode. So did you want to talk about your school situation first or the podcast?
We'll talk about the school situation first.
Okay. So Talene is wanting to talk about, she had a incident that happened at school that she felt some type of way about. So I'm going to go ahead and let her tell the story.
Okay. So we're in history, and it's 3 other people, and one of them is like talking about this guy that she liked, and oh, he used to like date this girl, blah blah blah, and then she was like, oh yeah, he dated like a dark girl, like, and then the other girl's like, oh my god, and I'm like, but I'm doing my work, and then my other friend is like talking to them and stuff, and she's like, what do you mean, like a dark-skinned girl? And I'm just like, wait, what's going on? Like, so then she's like, no, I'm just meaning like maybe it was just like a phase, or he just wanted to try and see what it would be like. And she's like, what are you talking about? And then I'm like, why would you say that? Like it's not like, it doesn't have to be a phase. Like, he can date whoever he wants. And then the girl's like, oh, he couldn't just like her for her personality, and like, why does it have to be such a big deal that she's a dark-skinned girl? Like, why is that like a thing that you have to say? And she's like, oh no, like, you know, and then this is the other girl. She's like, oh no, you know, if it was like a pale girl, like, you would say that too. You'd be like, oh yeah, he did like a pale girl, like, and I'm like, no, she wouldn't be like, she wouldn't say that. Like, that's not a normal thing to say.
Right. So let me just get something clear. So 2 of the girls were African American girls, yourself and another girl, right?
Yeah.
And then the other girls that was in the conversation, what were their race?
One was white and the other one was Hispanic, but she's like a lighter Hispanic. Like, she's more whiter. Like, her color is more whiter. Like, she's not like light skin.
Okay. All right. So one of the girls said.
Okay, now I remember. She was saying to the other girl, because the other girl that's like African American too, she's lighter. She's like light skinned. So
So the other girl that's African American is lighter than you.
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead.
Yeah. So she's like, no, like you're light skinned. Like she was like dark. Like you're light skinned, but like, and she's like, so it doesn't. And then she's just like, the girl was just looking at her. I'm like, what do you mean? Like, she's black. It doesn't matter if she's just light skinned. She's still black. Like, just because she's light skinned doesn't mean it's not gonna be offensive.
Right.
And so I'm like backing her up. I mean, like, I'm talking about both of us, not just her, but like,
right.
Because she was just looking at her like, what are you talking about? So I said something to her, and then the other girl was like, she was just there, and she kept trying to make it seem like it was okay. Like, what are you talking about? And then the girl, the other like black girl, she was like, oh, just stay in your lane. Like, it takes 0 cents to stay in your lane. Just stop talking about it. Because she kept going even after the girl like started doing her work and just didn't say anything. And then she just kept going, and she's like, oh no, just leave it alone. She's
right.
like, what are you talking about? Like, every time I do something wrong, or every time I say something wrong, you don't say anything. Like, I'm trying to figure it out, like what I'm saying wrong. And then she's like, every time that you say something wrong, I tell you, and then you'd be like, oh no, that's not racist or whatever, like it's okay, but like you don't know, like you weren't in our shoes, or you're not in our shoes, so like you don't know what's racist and what's not. I mean,
it's not that they don't know it's not that she might not know what's racist or what's not. She knows.
Right.
I mean, that's common sense. And so you're saying that she tried to insinuate if it was a Caucasian girl that he had dated, because the boy that you guys are referring to, what is his nationality?
He was like, we're not sure. He's light skinned.
Okay.
Like, I don't know if he was black or Hispanic or whatever, but he's light skinned.
Okay. So basically the girl tried to say if a girl was Caucasian and she was like a pale Caucasian, she tried to say that you would say, oh my God, she's so pale. That's what she was trying to say?
Right.
She's
like really, really pale. Like, no one would say that.
Right.
I mean, whatever you want to say with your friends, but like you're at a table with 2 black people, like you should know that you shouldn't say certain things.
Right. So what I want to know is, because you weren't a part of the conversation originally.
No.
Okay. So despite everything, how did that make you feel to hear her say, oh, he dated like a black girl? Like, how did that make you feel?
Well, I was offended because she was making like a nasty face, and I'm like, why is it so gross for him to be dating like a dark-skinned girl? Like, what's wrong with that?
Right.
Like, it shouldn't be based on that. It should be based on their personality and stuff. And then the other girl was saying, oh yeah, but we all have like preferences and a type and stuff. Like, oh, it's okay if you have a type or whatever, but like, you don't do that. Like, just because if the black girl was dating a white guy, like, I'm not gonna be like, oh my gosh, she's dating a white guy. Like, I'm not gonna do that. Like, if that's what she likes, and that's what she likes. Like, you're like.
I think what made me feel some type of way when you told me the story is the way she said she dated a black girl. Like, you know what I'm saying? And not as if you're not at the table with 2 black girls. You know what I'm saying? Like, that was like she had no regards for the people. And then you guys are friends. That's
exactly.
So how, I don't understand. And you told me that she's made reference before and made other, I guess, comments that just didn't sit well with you.
Okay, well, the Caucasian girl, she was like, one time we were all at the table and we were talking like, the black girl saw this picture that said black girls or light-skinned girls, like which one is better? And then I said, I don't think like one is better than the other. Mm-hmm. Like, it depends on the personality. Like, it's just, yeah, okay. And then the black girl's like, yeah, I agree too. And then the white girl is like, oh, light-skinned girls. And then we're just like looking at her like, why would you say that? Like, no, you're not supposed to say that.
Right. I don't. So again, how does these things make you feel? Like, you go to a predominantly white school. So how does these things make you feel? Like, when you are surrounded with other races that feel like it's okay to say or point things out about black, like black girls or black people?
I just feel like they should know better, like what not to say and what they can say. Like, they should know that people have feelings and stuff. So you don't do that. Like, I don't know, like, you know what I mean?
So you just felt hurt, like no other feelings came to you other than the fact that you were hurt.
Like, yeah.
Because you have to understand. You have to understand, and hopefully you will start to understand. It's a big thing. And then even the story you said about the girl when she said, what do you prefer, light skin versus dark skin? You know what I'm saying? Like, that's not okay.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, those are not even conversations that you guys should be having. You know, why? Even, like I'm saying, like, what you mean, oh, she dated a black girl, like, it just feels too reminiscent of things that racism that is like, yo, it's still there, like, it's still in our faces, like. And then I feel like as a culture, as a race, that's why we struggle so much as far as light skin versus dark skin women. A lot of the times, it was a time that being dark skinned was not it. You know what I'm saying? Like, being dark skinned was not the one. And you wanted to be light skinned. And no offense to anyone that does this. That's why you start to have that epidemic of people bleaching their skin, because society tells us that dark skin is not beautiful.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And that's far from the truth. We have a lot of other races that are trying to get this melanin. That's how you say it? I be messing up on that word all the time. But, you know what I'm saying? So, it's so, just to hear you going through those things at school, it's very hurtful to hear that somebody would, and, like you said, if it's a conversation that they're having alone, but to know that two black girls are sitting at this table and to feel like it's okay to say, like, black. Like, I just can't get over that. I mean, I had an incident years ago, and I feel like, no offense to the girl, because if she's watching, she don't know who she is. I love her, and no offense to her, but one time we was at work, and she said, I want to date a dark skin or a black guy so I can have a black baby. Like, no, and I think she said black more than twice. I think she said black. So then I was like, hold up. What you mean? Like, what you mean a black baby? And she put the extra on that black. And I was upset. Like, when you told me the story, that's the first thing that resonated with me, was that experience and how I felt. Like, what you mean? Like, because they are black or dark skinned, they're less of or not worthy. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So when we had that, Jessica, it's not funny, because I really felt some type of way, like, when she did that. And then, like, literally, when she said black, it wasn't just how I'm saying black. You know what I'm saying? It was like black. And I was like, wait, hold up. Why do you gotta add all that extra to the, extra emphasis to black? But whatever. Either way, I just don't feel like we should have to go through this anymore. But things are, like, slowly, like, taking a turn, But what I do love now is that dark-skinned women are loving the skin that they're in, including myself. You know, like
Me too.
we are definitely starting to step up and take pride of our natural hair. You know, a lot of us are now rocking our natural hair. I was telling a friend of mine the other day that now I don't go to the club like that, but you know what I mean, you go out and whatever. And I'm out and I see women in the club and stuff rocking their natural hair. That's a beautiful thing now, like to see us out there with our big puffs, our crown, just like yes, with the crown. But we are becoming more comfortable in our skin. It's like you see dark skinned women and you love it.
Right.
They radiate. You see this skin glowing right now too? You see it? You see that? That's that dark skin glow. That's that black girl magic.
Cheeks.
That's that black girl magic right there. I don't got no bronzer, nothing or whatever. But you know, it's a shame to see you have to go through stuff like that because like I said, when you told me the story, I immediately thought of my experience and it just did not feel good at all. It was like, yo, the audacity for you to even feel like that's okay. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And then you try to justify it to make it seem like it's okay. And at the end of the day, it really isn't.
Exactly.
You know?
What I don't like is there's this one kid at my school. He hangs out like around a lot of Caucasian people, and he starts like talking like them. Like he'll be like, "Oh yeah, raw dude," and like, like you know, just things that they say, like yeah, like, and I'd be like, "What are you doing? Like, you're black." Like,
wait. Well, now we have to be careful because talking a certain way doesn't make you black or white. You know what I mean? Because you don't like it when I say, "Oh, Talene, you sound like a little white girl."
Okay, but you say that all the time. Though.
Yeah, what I'm saying is, you don't like it though.
Right.
So why would you say? How is it that he's talking Caucasian or whatever the case may be? Because does he switch it up? Does he do it and then when he around his other folks he talks differently, or is this his natural talk?
I don't know, because I'm only with him for like one class and he's hangs with two Caucasian people. Okay, I mean it's okay for him to be with them, but like what I'm saying is he'll be like, "Oh yeah guys, like like, you know."
Is that a problem?
Okay, no, but like I don't know.
It irks you?
No, it's just sometimes like I don't know. It's a little weird, but I mean like that's all he really hangs out with.
Yeah, if that's all you know.
Asian people, so.
If that's all you know. Now we're not gonna sit here and say because somebody talk a certain way, that you know because you talk white or you talk black, because that's a big thing where people say, oh, because you're educated and you talk a certain way, you talk white. You know what I'm saying?
Okay, but like that's a difference though. Like you can be educated and sound educated, but like the stereotypical white people, how they talk, like.
You better be careful, honey.
Okay, never mind.
No, I'm just saying you have to pick your words. You have to choose your words wisely. You really do. When you're talking about race, you have to really choose your words wisely. You know, so you just gotta be careful when you say certain things. But I don't think that talking a certain way should, you know, take anything. What? Because I say you talk like a white girl.
Yes. So saying this.
No, but.
Okay.
Okay, I can't say it's different, but it is different because I'm referring to you. I guess is it?
Yeah, I know what you mean.
Like I'm just kidding with you and joking with you, but I wouldn't go and say that somebody talks white or Caucasian because he's like totally dude. What is it? Totally dude and whatever.
Like, yeah, okay. I know what you mean. Okay. Yeah.
You love it. She's mad now. You love it. But we also gonna talk about, there was something else that I wanted to talk about. So Talene was a part of another podcast my friend Allison's podcast called The Femme Feed, and she did an episode with my friend. And I wanted to, you say I talk like a white boy. James, I mean, you kind of do sometimes.
Oh wait, hold up though. You can't, that's a rough topic. You cannot go there. Do not say that. Oh my goodness.
Guys, she coming for me, guys. She coming for me. It's different when we're doing it on a personal level. Like, just like you said,
with your friends,
just like you said, if the girl was talking to, the other girl and say, yeah, he's dating like this black girl, it would be different. But the fact that there were two other black people at the table, that's where it changed the dynamics of what they were saying. Like, if behind closed doors, I tell James, don't take up for her. If behind closed doors, I tell James he sound like a white boy. That's behind closed doors we talking.
Okay.
Behind closed doors.
Right.
But anyway, so we wanted to move on to a different topic. Talene was a part of a podcast called The Femme Feed, and one of the questions was if she could tell her mom anything, what would she tell her? So I would start off by saying that the summer was a rough summer for me and Talene. I think we were going through a lot of, go ahead.
It wasn't the summer, it was like before that.
Well, it's always summer in Florida. It was hot, that's all I know.
Okay.
It was hot. So here it was summer. It was like before school came out. But me and Talene was having a rough time. Our relationship was kind of shaky, would you say?
Yeah.
It was a little bit shaky. And my mom kind of saved the day. Not knowing that me and Talene was going through a rough time, she suggested to have the kids come and stay a few weeks in Jersey, which they did, which was a good idea. So they stayed in Jersey for a few weeks and gave me and Talene a little opportunity to kind of breathe and, regather ourselves. So she did the podcast, and the question was, what are some of the things you would want to tell your mom? I think that's it, right? Mm-hmm. And I wanted to address it because, obviously it's a podcast, I wasn't there. And when I heard the podcast, I was like, okay, I want to go in and I want to address how Talene felt. So she started off by saying that she's human, right?
Okay, it was in there somewhere, yeah.
She's human. Basically, she was saying that she's a good kid and she doesn't understand why I'm so hard on her at times or why I get upset for the smallest things and so on and so forth. So I want to tell you that the reason why you're a good kid is because I'm hard on you. For real. If I wasn't hard on you and instilled certain things in you, you would have been in them streets like a rag doll, okay? You would be out in them streets doing your own thing. The reason why I make the little things, because you see, if you let small things pass, let's talk about Sky, for example. With dealing with you, Sky could get away with certain things. And she know it, right? Mm-hmm. So what she do? She show out. Mm-hmm. She do certain things, or whatever the case may be. But with me, she's not gonna show out like that. If she's gonna show out, it'll be different show outs, or whatever the case. So if I allowed you with the small stuff to get away with certain things, then you'll just be getting away with everything. I have to instill certain things in you now, because pretty soon you're gonna be going off to college. And you have to be prepared for that. If you decide to go away to school, you have to be prepared for what the world is going to bring to you. I want you to be able to do what you have to do and don't have to worry or ask nobody for nothing. Right now where it stands, you are capable of taking care of it. Right now where it stands, God forbid something happened to me tomorrow, you are capable of taking care of yourself. On top of taking care of yourself, you are aware of what your sister needs, what she wants. I'm not obviously underage, so you wouldn't obviously be able to take Sky or, you know, raise her or whatever. But the point is, you are very mature in certain areas. You know what you need to do. Certain times, she's still a kid, and sometimes she show out and we be getting mad because she want to do her own thing. But for the most part, the reason why people could say Talene is so respectable, she's so, you know, she's such a good kid and she's this and that, is because of the way I raised you. And because I'm not going to allow you to get away with the simple stuff, because the simple stuff turn into bigger things.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? It's not that I want to be hard on you and I don't see that you're trying. I see that you're trying. I definitely see it, and I won't take it away from you. And I always tell you, I thank you for all the things that you've then helped me with. You're there, you know what I'm saying? You're present. But that don't take away from the fact that I'm going to reprimand you when you do something wrong.
Right.
I don't care how small it is. If I tell you to wash the dishes and you don't wash it, that's small, right? Mm-hmm. But then I tell you again and you still don't wash it. Those are small things. But those are buildups. That means if I tell you to do other things, you're not going to do it. And if I let it pass, how many times I let you get away with murder and you know, like, mommy not going to do nothing. You know what I'm saying? Like, mommy's not going to do anything. So guess what? You go off and you push the envelope. So that's why I got to stop it from the door. So that envelope don't get pushed. You understand?
Yes. Like, when they say when you get older, all this stuff that your parents did, you're gonna think that, like, oh, why did they do that? But you'll appreciate it later. So
trust and believe. Trust. I'm like that now too. Like, certain things my mom used to do or say, or you just like, and you said, think about it. When you were a kid, you wouldn't want to be talked to a certain way, or you wouldn't want to be treated a certain way. You're right. But guess what? I'm doing stuff. But when you're a kid, you can't see that your actions are ridiculous at this moment. Or you're a kid, so why are you even talking back right now? Or you a kid, so stay in your lane. You don't see that stuff. So those are things that are, at the time, especially when you're a teenager, you feel like you start to get into a stage where you start smelling yourself. And I remember when you were younger, and I would say to you, Talene, I bet you any money, because she was like a perfect kid. Like, Talene was like perfect.
Do not say that.
You were.
No.
You were. Like, you were a good kid. I didn't have that much problems with you. And I used to say to you, when you become a teenager, your views are gonna change.
I remember this one time when I was like, oh, let me do the dishes, and you're like, when you get older, you're not gonna want to do it. Mm-hmm. And now I don't want to do it.
Absolutely.
And I'm like, what the heck was wrong with me?
Absolutely. There were so many things you wanted to do when you were a kid, and I used to say, Talene, enjoy being a kid. Like, just chill. But now that you have chores, even though you ain't getting paid for them, but you got chores, now you see. And so when I told you when you were younger, I said, listen, there's going to be a time when you're going to talk back. You're going to be opinionated, so you're going to feel like you want to say what you want to say. And it's going to be like, yo, chill. And that's the time where we're in. You have come there where you feel like, okay, you want to say, and I'm like, ooh, no, we can't do that. Mm-hmm. You understand? Mm-hmm. We can't do that. So that's why I have to be hard on you, because I want, when you step out these doors, you're a representation of me. So I want, when you step out the door, even, I don't care how people feel about me, but when you come through, they know she was raised right. And I'm not gonna let little things go, because then that's gonna be me letting go. And you're gonna do what you wanna do, because you're gonna know that, oh, my mom not gonna do nothing. She's not gonna say nothing. So guess what? I'm gonna push the envelope.
Yeah, I know what you mean, because there's a lot of kids at my school, they'll like just do whatever because they know that their mom's gonna do nothing.
Right. And I don't play those games. You can't. As a single mom, me out here doing things on my own, you cannot.
What James said.
What he said? Like those, what? I can't. You know what, James? I cannot with you right now. But as a single mom, me raising you on my own, I have to make sure that you are, I just have to make sure that I can trust you. I can trust you. You know, you're older now, you go to school, you know, I'm at work, you know, you're home for a little bit. I have to make sure that I can trust you to not go to people's houses when you're supposed to be home. And I have to know that if something happens and I find out you might be at somebody's house when I'm not home, that when I reprimand you about it, you don't try me again. That's what I'm saying? You know, so as a single mom, I have to make sure I keep you in line. And when you have your kids, you're not going to be a single mom. But when you have your kids, when you get married and start having kids, you're not. Okay, you're not. But when you get married and start having your kids, you're gonna understand, and you're gonna be me now. This is like a cycle. Now I can look at my mom and say, "Dang, Mom, thank you." You know what I'm saying? Thank you. I thought you was, you know, being over the top and whatever. But you want to secure and you want to protect your kids,
right.
And that's what it is. I want to protect you. I want to make sure that you're good. It's too much stuff going on out here in this world. Just to touch base a little bit, and I told you, like, human trafficking is serious here in Florida and in Miami. No, not Miami, I'm sorry, California. So
I haven't heard about it, but you're talking about it like all the time.
Because you don't pay attention to those type of news, so you're not gonna hear about it. But those type of news, human trafficking is happening a lot. And you have to be careful. And then a lot of the times, I went to an event a few months ago when they had talking about human trafficking, and they were talking about how they lure these girls in to be able to take them. And the one thing that I, was thinking, like, these girls, they don't have any guidance. They don't have, anyone that's, making sure that they're making the right decisions. They have their friends that they want to follow behind. They're smoking, they're doing drugs, or whatever the case may be. And one of the cops at the event, he was saying a lot of these girls that are victim of human trafficking are victim because they're on drugs. When someone is on drugs, most times they will do anything to continue and have that. You know what I'm saying? So if someone who's into human trafficking, or a pimp, I guess, or something like that, as he was saying, if they are wanting to human traffic, someone that's on drugs is easy to capture, because guess what? They're gonna do anything to get those drugs. Mm-hmm. But I say all of this to say, that's why I shelter you. That's why I'm hard on you, because I want to make sure that you're making the right friend choices. You're in high school now. These kids are out there. They're doing real stuff, and they're high school students. And I just be looking like, yo, you in high school? And you're doing this, you're involved in that, So I want to make sure that you make the right choices when you're trying to have friends. I want you to make choices when you're starting to date. I want you to make the right choices when you're doing certain activities. You know what I'm saying? Because if you slip, you slide. You make one bad choice and it's like a ripple effect. So that's my whole thing. I just want to shelter you, not really shelter you, because you're going to have your own experiences. But I just want to protect you and help you and guide you. And me making you get away with the small things, it's going to be a situation where you just end up doing whatever you want. And we don't want that.
Right.
Right? Because college is in there. Well,
college, what did you say?
College is a part of the plan.
Oh, yeah.
So... But yeah, do know that I love you. And do know that I love you, and I'm not hard on you because I want to be mean, or because I don't want you to have life experiences. To be honest, you have had an amazing life.
I know.
I really don't even know how I provided certain things, for you. I really bend over backwards to provide you with the things that you and both your sister need. So, and not only just need, you guys want sometimes. Not all the time you can get what you want, but I try out here in these city streets. So I just want you to know that I love you, and it's not me being mean because, or making, certain, being upset with you for certain things because I just want to be, but I want you to be great. I have made so many bad choices along the way that I don't want you to make those same mistakes.
Right.
I want you to be better than me. I want you to make better decisions, better life choices. I want you to know that yes, I went to college, but then I went to college and I was playing games and I was sitting, as we were talking about on the episode with Jessica, when we say when you get to college, you don't have no bell that's ringing, son. You got class start at 4:55. You got to be at class at 4:55. And I was in that lobby. I was playing games. I regret those things. And I don't want you to, you're going to have your own life experiences, your own mistakes, but as much as I can prevent them by giving you the right tools to make the right decisions. And that's all it's about. It's not that I want to pick on you. It's not that I don't want you to live your best life, because you have. You have lived your best life.
Yes, I know.
You can admit that.
Yeah.
As we are going on a cruise.
Yes.
In a few days, we are going on vacation. 7 days. Yeah. So this is our second vacation for the year. We went to Tennessee during the summer when you guys came back from Jersey. We went to Tennessee and we had a great time there. We went on a cabin trip. So I know there's a lot of things that I do wrong. Let's talk about
quotation marks.
Let's talk about some of the things that you do not like.
Oh, no, you don't do that.
Why?
Because you don't do anything wrong.
She tried it. Let's see what somebody said.
What did they say?
It's best to learn from other people's mistakes instead of making your own great life lessons, Mom. Absolutely. Absolutely. And that's what I want. I want her to not make the same mistakes I made. I don't for 1 minute regret having you nor your sister. You guys have matured me, But Lord knows if I would have done what I wanted to do and finish school, or even if it wasn't finishing school, even just figuring out things that I want to do and, being able to live my best life. I had you at 20. You know what I'm saying? So my whole 20s, when my friends was out living their best life, I was hustling to provide. You know what I'm saying? Like, I was out here in these streets hustling.
Things like that. Those are lessons I can learn from.
Yes, and you must, which you should. Because I don't want you in your 20s trying to figure out how to raise a child. I don't want you in your 20s hustling, bustling, trying to work this job, that, you know what I'm saying? I want you to live your best life. I don't regret having you, but if I could have postponed it a little, I definitely would have made that choice to postpone it just a little bit so that I can live. My friends was out living, and now I'm trying to live because I missed out my whole 20s. It's like, and then I moved from Jersey, so I pretty much raised.
It kind of sucks because, I'm older now, but now you have Sky, so.
Yeah.
When I leave.
When you leave what?
There'll be no one to watch Sky.
Listen, you ain't going nowhere, child.
I'm going across the country. I'm going to Europe. Just playing.
Listen, she ain't going nowhere. But I am going to be hurt when you leave, if you decide to leave and go away for school. I will try to give her the pity, the guilt trip, and
There's always FaceTime.
Yeah, but that's not gonna work. Me and Sky are gonna miss you. Guys, I literally, a vulnerable moment. I don't know what I'm going to do, not just as far as Sky, because I'm still hoping that by the time you go to college, I'll be married and, you know, whatever.
Yeah.
But
Of course.
outside of that, Talene, as I stated, we struggle together. Like, we've been through this journey called life together. Like, I was essentially, even though I was 20, essentially I was a child raising a child. And everything that I went through, we were step by step by step. I remember crying and you coming over to me, little baby, and you're trying to comfort me. And I'm telling you, you don't remember those things, but like, you like my ride or die. You know what I mean? Like, we cleaned it through life like this. And the minute last year when they had something at the college, at your school, and they did something for the seniors, where I think it was dance, where they had the parents come out and they gave them flowers or something.
I don't remember.
Well, anyway, so they did something for the seniors, and Talene is a freshman. And I was in the audience in tears because I'm thinking about that day. Yo, I don't know what I'm gonna do when it's time for you to leave, because we have gone through everything together. You're like my friend. You are. Sometimes. Our relationship is growing. You can't tell the truth.
Like, when I came back from my grandma's house, like, it's been good so far. Like, you know, it hasn't been like rocky how it was before, you know. And I come and talk to you all the time about stuff, and you talk to me about stuff. So
yeah, I talk to you a lot more about stuff. I think it's because you're older now,
yeah.
So I can be more open with you. I didn't want, as far as me talking to you when you were younger, I didn't want you to be worried about my stuff.
Mm-hmm.
You know, even when you were doing competitive gymnastics, and sometimes I don't even know how I made it, but I would never come to you because I don't want you to feel like, you know, financially. But honestly, when you ended up, I guess now that we're here, when you ended up stopping gymnastics, it was like faith. Because we had moved into this house, and I knew that I was not going to be able to afford gymnastics anymore. But I would have never told you that. I wanted you to make your decision as far as having to stop gymnastics based on you, not, you know what? Because you were that kid. Oh, mommy don't have it, so I'm gonna just stop, even, you know, because my foot, but I'm gonna stop not because of my foot. I'm gonna stop because I know mommy don't have it. So, but when that year you stopped gymnastics, I legitimately was on that brink of, I can't anymore. I can't. Till it kind of like played right into the role of my life, like my foot, and it was like, yes. Yes, but no, because I did invest a lot in gymnastics.
Yeah.
I invested a lot. So I was hurt essentially too, because I really was hoping that would be like taking you to the next level, but you know, unfortunately it didn't work out that way.
I wish it did, but yeah.
Mm-hmm. Well, before we close, were there any other topics you wanted to discuss?
No, not really.
So that's all you wanted to address today? Well, we're gonna make this a short live because go ahead.
Oh no. Well, just back to the thing about my friends.
Mm-hmm.
I forgot to say when we were doing it, but I was saying, like, if the Hispanic girls at a table full of like Caucasians, and then they were like, oh yeah, Chase, just a random name. Chase was like, oh, dating a really like dark Hispanic girl, like, you know, she would feel some type of way
right.
too. So, like, if okay,
Go ahead.
okay, so, like, if she thought about it that way, she would like understand, like, oh yeah, like, I see what she's talking about. Because if someone said it like that to me, I would feel some type of way. And then she'd be like, oh wait, no, but you're not like dark skinned. You're a light skinned Hispanic. Like she would have felt some type of way, like, but I'm still Hispanic. Like,
right.
That's still offensive.
Right.
Yeah, that's all. Like now, when we were there, she's like, oh, I see what you're talking about. Like looking back, I know, like I said that wasn't right what I said, and she apologized. But the other girl was like, oh, no, I'm not gonna apologize because I don't see what I did wrong. And I mean, and that was like not even the first time she did something like that. So she shouldn't even it's not just that she should apologize about. She should apologize about other things too. But like,
so she doesn't see what she did wrong. So
right.
Yeah, that's not right. That's not right. Did you ever get your sweater back?
No, I did not go back to her.
She still be wearing it at school?
Yeah, it's annoying. And she'll be looking at me like, she'll be passing by me and think I'm not looking at her. But I'll be like, when she passes by, I just stare at her.
That's what a gone. That's what a gone. Well, we're gonna close it up. We just want to come in and touch base on some of those topics. I know people are preparing for Thanksgiving, and we're going to my Uncle Courtney's house, and Sonia is cooking.
I'm going to Disney.
Oh yeah. So she's not going to be having Thanksgiving dinner with us, but we are going to Trail House afterwards to get some of her mom good cooking. I can't wait. So yeah, she be cooking. She be cooking. No? Okay. So her mom be cooking, and so I'm excited about going over there. I'm excited about going to my uncle's house. So we're going to go ahead and tune out for the night. Thanks for listening to the Traveling Parents of a Single Mom, and peace. We out.